Welcome to the Agents Lounge podcast, where we talk all things real estate with the industry's top performers. Join us as we dive into the inspiring journeys of successful agents and uncover the secrets to their success. Whether you're a seasoned agent or just starting out, we got the tips and tricks to help you navigate the world of real estate. Brought to you by Integrity Comfort Solutions. So grab a seat and join us in the Agents Lounge.
Welcome back to another episode of the Agents Lounge podcast. I am your host today, filling in Marco Salinas. Joining me as usual is Francisco Bermudez Jr. He is the owner of Integrity Comfort Solutions. And what we're trying to do today is see if we can get him to talk a little bit more, because usually he's a little quiet. Yeah, but lately he's been doing a good job. So welcome. Welcome, right, Francisco. Our guest for today is Miss Iris Ramos with Keller Williams Heritage, right? Here in San Antonio. She's been a realtor for a good
10 years.
10 years. Oh my gosh, a whole decade. So she brings experience and she brings wisdom today to us. So we're going to be talking with her and learning a little bit more about her story, her background, her journey, and all that good fun stuff. So Iris, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So, okay. So 10 years in the game. That means, what year are we in now? So 2014, you started. Okay. Take us back a little before that.
Okay.
What were you doing before you were a realtor? And maybe you can tell us, like, how did this whole, like, I want to be a realtor, like, how did that thing come to be?
Yeah, so in 2013, I came home. I was actually in the Air Force. I don't know if you knew that about me.
I did, a little bit,
I was in the Air Force, and I came home. There was something happened with family, and I had to come home. It was my sister passed away.
Okay.
And I came back home, and the intent was to go back to the Air Force, and that was gonna be my career.
Yeah.
But when I came back, I took over the boys, her sons. So my two nephews now, and they were little. The baby was 9 months old, and the other one was 4 years.
My gosh.
So
wow.
it was something. I mean, it kept me here, but the intent was always to go back.
Yeah.
And when it was time to go back, I just didn't see myself going back and leaving my family here. So I decided to stay here, and the family got bigger, so I thought about buying a house. So one of my mom's best friends actually was a realtor at the time, and we went to him, and he kind of guided us and got us into a home.
Yeah.
Well, the experience was great, and I loved him. He was a family friend, but I just felt like I needed a little bit more guidance. I was the first time home buyer. He basically came and said, give me a check for this, give me a check for that. And I did it. Yeah. But I just felt like there could have been a little bit more knowledge. So that's really where it came from. I did really no research on real estate.
Wow.
I signed up for school, and I just took a leap of faith. I called my mom. I never really went to her and told her, like, Mom, I want to do this. I just called her after and just tell her, like, I did this.
It's done.
Yeah. So I went to her, and I told her I enrolled in real estate school, and I was still in banking at the time.
Okay.
But that's how it started. Yeah.
Wow. So it was a kind of a unexpected
it was
thing that just fell in your lap. Yeah. Wow. Where were you stationed?
I was here at Lackland.
Oh, it was. Okay. So you were already in San Antonio, but you just had a different career.
Yes.
I got you. So was it hard to get out of the military? Had you already done your time in that? Did they give you special accommodations?
They did, because the reason I came home was I had gotten injured. So I was on convalescent leave, and that's when everything happened with my sister.
Got
so
you. Yeah.
They let me come, and I was always trying. I was doing the physical training, everything, because I always wanted to go back.
Yeah.
And that was the intent, but no, they let me come home because of the situation and take care of the family.
But prior to that, in your mind, you were like, I'm gonna have a long military career.
Yes, probably. I was gonna retire. That was my heart. When I came home and I was on the bus and I was crying, and everybody's like, "Why are you crying?" I'm like, "Because I really, really want to be here, but I really, really need to be there for my family." But no, I that was my thing. I was gonna retire from the military.
Wow. So 10 years later, has it worked out?
Yes.
You've done pretty well.
Yes, I love what I do. I say real estate changed my life, and it really did.
Yeah, that's amazing. Okay, so you jumped right in around 2014 or so, and you started getting busy, and you started doing your thing. And so at that point, like, I remember back then, so the economy obviously took a hit 2008, and then each year it just kind of slowly started picking up. So one of the things that I always ask is like with real estate agents, how did you establish your business? Like, how did you find clients back then when you were just getting started? You know, it's not like you have this huge budget to advertise in a market, right?
Yeah.
Was it just networking and family and friends, or like what was your strategy back then?
So it's really what happened was, so I ended up getting out of banking. I had to make a decision whether I do real estate or I get out of banking, and so I decided to do real estate. But my manager was so sweet, and I loved him to death. Well, he ended up being my first client. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yes,
Okay.
and then he knew a lot of people, so he started referring me out. He was like the first person to believe in me. I had no experience, and so he was my very first client. And since then, I've always been relationship based. I like to take care of my people, and since then it's just come in. I mean, a lot from social media, my relationships, my friendships, and people that I've worked with in the past.
Yeah. So here we are 10 years later, and if you look back, the majority of your clients were all pretty much like referrals.
Yes.
From another person that you helped. They were very happy, and they were like, "You gotta work with Iris. She's really great."
Yeah, I'm 100% referral based right now.
Wow. So a whole 10-year career based on that, which shows you that if you do a good job, right, then people are gonna refer you.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna put it on you.
So,
what question you have?
So obviously you have a military background. Does that in any way help you service the military community?
Yes, I do work with a lot of military. I mean, I understand the lingo. I understand the structure. I can mirror their behavior. I mean, it really does help me. I am certified for.
What are some of the biggest obstacles that you help them with?
I think it's really for them, everything is like time. It's like everything needs to be done super fast and meeting deadlines and stuff. I think that's probably the toughest. And I've had clients relocate from out of the country or out of the state, and they're doing everything through FaceTime. So that's probably scary. That's really scary for me when they come and I showed them property for the first time, and it's scary. It's like, are you really gonna love it, or are you gonna back out on the day of closing?
Yeah, seriously, right?
Wow.
Yeah, because there's challenges with them being stationed elsewhere and moving and
family. They're somewhere else. Yeah.
What about one of the things you mentioned earlier was that like with your experience, you felt like they didn't really give you a lot of info. Like, how do you address that with your clients? How do you make sure that they're getting a little extra, the knowledge and, that's important?
Yeah, who you work with is very important. I mean, my lender, I make sure that it's someone that's going to educate the client. I bring my clients into the office and I do a whole buyer presentation to make sure they're aware of, like, when I ask for a check, what is this for? Or to know what the option period is and know, so that when they go into buying the home, they're like, oh, we already talked about this. I know what to expect next. And they're familiar with the process at that point. So it's not like I was like a check. I'm like, what's the check for? What do I, just everything's answered up front. Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, I like that. Yeah. So can you think of are there any stories that you could think of, Iris, where you had a kind of a challenging situation, maybe a challenging client?
Oh, at the time.
Like one that really stands out where you were able to maybe turn the situation around or maybe kind of save the deal. And if maybe that client had a bad experience and they had given up, but you stepped in and you were able to kind of, get the whole situation under control based on your knowledge, your experience.
Yeah. So I actually, this is fresh because I was just thinking about it yesterday, but so I met I don't even know, it's probably like in 2000, I was probably 2 or 3 years into the business. So I'm still hungry at that point. I'm still hungry now, but at that point, like everything needs to close, right?
Yeah.
I met this really sweet couple and they wanted to buy a home, but they were self-employed and they had only been in the business for a year. So they only had 1 year tax return. So you know how that works. They need to have 2 years.
Yeah.
So I reached out to my lender and he wasn't able to get the deal done. And they really wanted a house. And I'm like, I need to get this family into a home.
Yeah.
Well, I called networking, right? And called and I finally found a bank that was able to help them. Well, they ended up buying a home and it was in the location they wanted. They were going to do renovations or whatnot. But the day of closing, I walked the property with the husband. This was like an hour before closing and I was in the car, I was waiting for him to come to arrive to the appointment, and I just hear like a siren going off when I get down. Well, the detectors were going off because there was a leak. The whole second floor ruined the entire first floor of the home.
While y'all were doing the walk?
While we were doing the walkthrough right before.
It was flooding right there.
It was flooding. There was hardwood floors, like It was a mess, and the husband was, I mean, he was with, his wife didn't go. It was just me and him. So imagine he was just like so overwhelmed. And
Oh
what
my
was crazy
gosh.
was that he owns a mitigation company. That was the company that they were opened. So he was like devastated because they're about to close. They were so excited, and he's like, "How am I gonna call my wife?" We literally cried in the front yard because he was crying, and I'm very emotional, so we're both crying. He's like, "How am I gonna tell her?" So he told her, and she said, "I'm not gonna buy the house then." And he goes, "You don't believe in our business?" And
Oh man.
she's like, "No, we'll buy the house." So they bought the house, and this was like, it was a challenging deal, but we were able to get it done. And then we faced that, and then we had to file insurance claims. Well, now they're like a very good clients of mine, and I work with the brother now. He's doing investments with me. I'm like holding his hand, and he's
Wow.
learning about real estate investing. But they're super sweet clients and
Incredible.
a very successful business.
And they were able to basically fix the problems
They did
with their
They
house, with
made
their
the-
own equipment
yes.
and their own service.
They built they bought that house and it was before, I mean, years ago, you could buy a house a really nice house in Stone Oak for $250.
I know.
That's around what they bought it for. And then I helped them sell it for $465.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
That
awesome.
is incredible.
Yeah.
That is a really amazing story. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, now let me pull something out of that I heard you say. So they were self-employed.
Yes.
And so obviously when if somebody's listening to this or watching this and they're self-employed, a lot of times that makes people feel like, oh man, I don't think I can get a house, right? So what was it that bank did differently to be able to work with them?
They were able to do a portfolio loan to allow them to do it for a conventional loan, but they can still make it happen. Normally, it requires a little bit more of a down payment.
Oh, okay. So if somebody is self-employed, they should know that there are options.
There are options. Yeah. If you have a problem, just bring it to me. I'll find a solution.
There you go.
I'm a problem solver.
You work your magic, right? Okay, so let's fast forward a little bit. 2020, the world got flipped upside down, right? There was this little hiccup that happened, and then that had a big effect for 2020, for 2021. The rates were low, the house prices were still low, at least at the beginning of
Yes.
COVID, right? So everybody was sitting around doing nothing. Like, I know what I'll do. I'll buy another house, right? So the market was just going nuts for those couple of years. And then you and I were talking a little before we started the podcast. Like once 2022 hit, all of a sudden things really started changing,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
The rates started going up, which historically, if you zoom out, the rates are still low.
Yes.
But what we got used to,
Yeah.
like you can't compare it, right? So that's why people are like, man, I got a little taste of that, like 2 point whatever or 3 point whatever. And so now if it's 5, 6, 7, it's like, forget
It's
it,
huge, yeah.
But historically, it's still low.
Absolutely.
And so there's that. The house prices did definitely go up a lot. I think what I've seen is that they're going down a little bit, maybe, right?
Yeah,
In some
just people
cases.
just trying to adjust.
Nothing drastic, but yeah. And so what did you do to kind of, I guess, maybe shift or pivot once things started,
to slow down.
started slowing down like that
So-
after being so crazy for so long?
Yeah. So in 2017, I started real estate investing myself. And I learned a lot about the different avenues. There's a lot of different terms, wholesaling, flipping, and I started buying rental properties at that point. And then I started buying off-market properties and renovating them and keeping them as rentals. Yeah. So when I was doing it, then I'd meet people and people would ask me like, "What are you doing?" And so that's really what I did. I pivoted to investing. So I started
I like that.
finding investors that were buying, or even past clients that had already bought and sold with me, and now they had equity and they wanted to start investing. So just mentoring them, showing them, they'd buy with me, they'd sell with me, and to now, like, I'm still mentoring clients and they're doing the investing. Yeah.
Wow. So you're telling me like these last couple of years, people are still doing a lot of
Yes.
they're moving around and buying investments and
Yes.
renting them, and are people still doing flips?
They are. I'm doing them myself too.
Wow. So you can still make money in this market on a flip.
Absolutely.
Totally still possible. So I always remembered, like, when the market was a little more normal, it was all about finding those, those pocket deals, like those, obviously you want to get a low price house so that you can flip it into something else. Seems like it's definitely not as easy to find those, right? It takes a
No,
little more
yeah,
work, but
it
it's
does.
possible.
It is possible. Absolutely.
What can you share any strategies without giving away all your secret sauce?
Yeah.
But what are some strategies for potential investors, like, to find some of those good deals that are still out there? You just have to really do a lot of research.
Really, networking. Who do you know, and who has a problem that you can solve? Can you solve the problem? And really, just that's really what it is. It's just solving a problem. Someone has a situation, a divorce, or if someone passed away.
Yeah.
Normally, those are the situations where
Those
you
opportunities
can help,
pop up.
and it's an opportunity. Yeah.
And then, but how do you catch wind of those? Like you have your network that's like everybody's got their ear to the street.
Yeah, you just need to let people know you buy houses.
Yeah.
let
Wow.
them know.
Okay. That's interesting. So it's good to know that these things are still happening because a lot of people think, well, I just got to throw in the towel. I can't do anything right now. But you're still seeing a whole lot of good things happening.
Yes,
on your site.
Yes, so today I actually put one of my best friends. So we actually go to vacations together. It's her and her husband and her son, and I take my boys and we go on vacation together. Well, one day we were at the park and they asked me something came up about real estate and rental property, and I had started talking to them. And the husband asked me, he's like, "So, how do you do this? What do you need?" And I started telling him just like a little bit of what you need, and he said, "Well, tell me what to do, and I'll go tomorrow and I'll withdraw from my stocks and this and that, and I'll have the money in an account by this day and my LLC created." Well, within a few days he had that, and today I listed his property for sale.
Wow. That is amazing. That is
Yeah.
amazing. What else you got, buddy?
I mean, that's a great vacation right there.
But how come you don't turn it off? Iris, you're supposed to be vacationing.
No, my mind is always going.
She's over there in Cancun doing
like-
a presentation, PowerPoint.
I'm not coming back until.
I need to close a deal while we're out here, and then I can go back, right? Yeah.
So, congratulations.
Yeah, no kidding.
Congratulations. I'm super excited for them. Yeah.
Okay, that brings up something interesting, though. And this is a question that I like to ask. How does a busy real estate agent like yourself, how do you, or is it possible to find a balance? Can you balance work and life and family and taking care of your boys? I mean, obviously you're doing it,
Yeah.
right? So it's obviously possible, but how? How do you do that?
Yeah, I mean, it's not easy. I mean, I learned that not everything is a priority, and you can't say yes to everybody. You have to say no a lot of times. But it's just really focusing on what's a priority and what do you need to always be doing, and that's really what I do. I mean, I say no to a lot of things, and I just focus on what's important in my family, my business, and that's it. My faith, taking care of my health.
Yeah. So you do have to kind of trim out some of
lot
the
of things,
excess stuff, right?
Absolutely.
You don't have time to be playing around really with, unimportant things. You have to really prioritize.
Yes.
And make good usage of your time. What is your how do you track your time? Do you use a phone? Do you write in a calendar? Like do you have any tips for time management for a busy real estate agent?
I have a schedule, and the things that are most important to me, like personally, I try to knock it out in the morning.
Okay.
And then by the time the business day starts, my phone's on. I'm available for clients, but
Yeah.
a lot of time blocking. My Sundays are for my kids in church. But throughout the week, I'm just focused on my schedule.
Are you one of those that's basically always available? Is the phone always on? Or have you gotten to where you could kind of say this time and these days? You said Sunday,
Yeah.
right? Like you try to minimize calls and things on Sundays? And
I
stuff
do,
like that?
and I'm very transparent about my life, and I mean, my clients know I have my boys and stuff, so they're actually very respectful of my time. And on Sundays, I always set the expectation up front. I tell them Sunday is normally my day, and I work by appointment only, and just by saying that, they'll respect the Sunday. And
There you
sometimes
go.
they won't even reach out to me on Sundays.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is amazing. Yeah.
Before we started the podcast today, we were talking about credit repair, right? So right now, I mean, it's a tough economy. A lot of people had to go into their credit, get into debt to, just pay their grocery bills.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are finally getting out of that. For somebody that's a new homeowner or wants to get into a new home and they just went through a difficult time last year and they finally got another job, they're paying off their debt. What are some of the things that you could help them to get into a home?
Yeah, so normally what I do is that consultation face-to-face, kind of really figuring out what their struggles are, if it's credit repair. Sometimes we sit down and we realize they're spending a lot of money on things that they shouldn't be spending money on, and they need a down payment. So just things like that. And I mean, I have professionals that I work with that can help and guide too. But it's really just meeting with them and seeing what their struggles are and really going from there.
Okay. So even if they feel like they're kind of scared that they're not ready, you would still meet
Absolutely. Absolutely.
There you go. There you go. So what do the numbers look like right now? Like if as of right now, we're recording this early 2024. If I want to buy a home, where do I need my credit score to be? And also like, Are there any programs now for down payment assistance? Does any of that exist?
Yeah, there's still a lot of programs for that. As far as credit, a lot of that's like, I jokingly say I got out of banking because it changed all the time, but this is changing all the time too, the requirements and stuff.
Yeah.
But now with how the market is and with rates, a lot of lenders are getting very creative with financing. But yes, there are still down payment assistance programs
There are.
and options. And really, I just say, like, if you don't think your credit's where it needs to be, or if you have a self-employment issue or tax, or maybe it's a no right now, but it doesn't mean we can't do it in the future.
Yeah, in the next 6 months, in the next year.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it takes some pre-planning, right?
Yes. And that's really, I think that's the thing with a lot of people, is that they want to apply when they're ready. And sometimes it's apply now so I can see where you're at and I can tell you exactly what you need to do so we're ready within set time. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So what does your system look like, Iris, for when somebody comes to you? How do you kind of tell yourself, okay, I know that this person is serious. Like they're serious about buying, even if, for example, if they can't buy right now. How do you kind of make sure that you're I guess maybe this goes back to the time management, right? There's a lot of tire kickers, and then there's other people that have good intentions, but they don't want to take it serious. They don't want to focus. They want to keep partying and spending their money on the wrong things, right? And so how many chances do you give someone? If you call them back 6 months later and it hasn't changed, is that it? Or you're like, okay, well, obviously you're not serious, so call me when you are. Or do you typically still follow up with people like way down, like years down the line?
Yeah, I still follow up with people. I mean, I track all that stuff, but
You have your database?
yes, I do. And I track everything because, like I said, sometimes it's no now, but it may be a yes in a year when you're ready. But normally you can catch on when you have that face-to-face appointment and they ask questions and you tell them, do this, and they'll do it. So you know that they're serious about moving forward.
Yeah. Got you. And what are you seeing with like builders? Are they offering a lot of cool stuff right now?
They are. They're doing rate buy downs. So rates right now, I think some of the builders are going down to 2.99. Yeah, which is huge right now because you're looking at 6 and 7s depending on credit and stuff. But yeah, there's a lot of.
Can you, on that note, can you explain how that works, just in case somebody doesn't know what is a rate buy down and how long does that last?
So the rate buy down is essentially you're paying upfront to get the rate as low as whatever they agree to. But the beauty of it is that because it's a builder, it's an in-house lender, they're offering, basically they're telling you, I'll give you this amount of money to do this, to get this rate, and paying for closing costs, and getting the amazing rate and amazing payment at their cost. So you're getting a really good deal right now if you're going to a new home. And even because they want to move everything so fast, you can probably even negotiate on the sales price.
Wow.
Yeah.
And those rates, you lock them in for how long? Is it 1 year? Is it 3 years?
Yeah, so it's called a 2-1 buy down. So basically how it works is the first year it's fixed at whatever rate they agreed to. Second year it's that, and then from the 3rd to 30th, that's going to be the fixed rate. But basically the way it works is whatever the funds that they have, they're applying it to the first and second year to keep that rate super low.
Oh, got you. Now, 3 through 30, if anything changes, you can also refi, and
absolutely.
So there's still options.
Yes,
right?
there are.
Even on the back end.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of people think they're scared or intimidated by the rates, but I mean, it's a time where you're really able to negotiate if you have a home to sell, or things that you couldn't do when the rates were so low.
Yeah. Very, very true. Talk to me about going back to what he said about the military. Are there special incentives? Are there special programs if you're in the military, since you have experience with that?
Yes, well, there's the VA loan. Most people know about that, 0 down. But normally, when you compare a VA loan or just payment-wise, it's going to be very different than it would be for someone that doesn't have the entitlement because you don't have the mortgage insurance, and requirements are a little more lenient depending on who you go to.
Yeah.
But no, if you meet the credit requirement, you don't have a down payment, I can get the builder to cover your closing costs, you're going in with your earnest money, and that can be $500, $1,000 buying a new home. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. And so like VA loans, what kind of score more or less, you know?
Some lenders will do 580. Some will go down to 600. Some will ask for 620. But it just
Okay.
depends. I mean, every lender is very, very different. And right now, with how everything is, they're getting a little more lenient on some of those
They are?
requirements.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it sounds like it's kind of always a case-by-case basis, right?
Yes, yeah. But I mean, if you apply with one lender and you're not able to get approved, then I'm sure I can find someone else. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, because Iris has a lot of connections. If you haven't figured that out yet, Princess.
No, I can see that.
Yeah.
And, I want to know more about how. I mean, you've been in the industry 10 years.
Yes.
What are some of the differences that you have seen yourself professionally that you have changed from when you first started to right now? And I
good
think
question.
right now it's mostly like how you're probably nurturing your clients
Yeah.
and growing your client list.
I mean, one thing that's been the same consistent is the relationships and really catering to my clients and taking care of those relationships. But I think with the market, a lot of things change. A lot of the things that I've implemented into my business now, it's just been by trial and error. Things that I know I see work or things that I see don't work, and then I make adjustments from there. But it's really about who you work with and really taking care of those clients. Yeah.
Wow, yeah, that is awesome. So you're 10 years in. What does the next 10 years look like for Iris
Man.
Ramos? Yeah, do you intend for things to kind of stay exactly the way they are? Do you have you ever thought about mentoring or bringing anybody under you, or do you want to expand more on the investment side of things? Like what is your next 5 years and then 10-year vision?
Yeah, so as far as investing, I want to continue doing that. I mean, my oldest nephew now, he's 15, so he's about to be in college. And I tell him that I want him to just try real estate. I said, just try it, even if you don't want to do what I do, because it's not for everybody. But
Sure.
maybe you become a lender or a title rep or
Right.
just something. I mean, there's so much opportunity out there, but I do want to bring my boys into the business. I love real estate investing, and I have quite a few clients now that I'm mentoring, and I fell in love with that part of the business too. So I definitely want to continue doing that and doing my own flips as well.
Yeah.
But my relationships that I have, I mean, I've known most of my clients, I've known they've gotten married, they've had children, I've gone to their weddings, baby showers. So those
Gosh.
relationships, I really cherish them, and I don't see myself not,
Yeah.
continuing with
Do
that.
you go to the quinces?
I haven't gone to any somewhere.
I was just gonna say, do you dance there?
No, I don't dance at all.
They're like, check out the realtor. I didn't know she danced like that. No, I'm just kidding.
You don't want to see me dance, Marco.
TikToks.
No, I
Who
don't
knew
dance.
she knew those moves like that? No. I mean, you could have a line of people that want to buy a house. You never know, Iris. You should try those things.
Oh, you don't want to see me dance.
I'm just kidding. Are you like two left feet?
Yes,
Okay.
I can march. I can march all day. I mean, if you tell, I can keep count. I can. But
Yeah.
no, I don't dance.
But not dancing.
No.
That's how you think.
That's
Okay.
not my thing.
Okay, got you. But you're saying you're helping some of people in the next generation already.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
After doing it for 10 years, it's like enough time has gone by that some of your early clients, now you're helping their kids. And,
Yeah.
and of course, the cool thing about real estate is people do move usually on average a couple of times, right?
Oh yes, absolutely. Yeah.
So there's movement even with the same one client.
Yeah, lifestyle changes, or I mean, some of them got into investing. Some of them, unfortunately, get divorced, and
Right.
yeah,
Sometimes it's good and sometimes it's bad.
yes,
But what matters is that you're there for them,
Mm-hmm.
and they know they can rely on you. They know they can trust you. That's the hardest part, right? Is finding somebody that you can stick
trust.
with, that you can trust,
Yes.
right? So I think it's really awesome and really impressive. I knew you when you were in your earlier years.
yeah.
So it's cool to see how far you've come and how well you've done. So we definitely congratulate you. We celebrate all your achievements, and I think for sure your future is going to continue to be very bright.
Thank you, Marco.
Keep building that real estate portfolio.
Yes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
My last couple of questions is this: what do you do on your downtime? You shared a little bit. You spend time with your boys, right? I know that you also apparently you do real estate on vacation. So is that kind of your big thing? You like to travel? You like to what is your off time when you
Yeah.
do have off time?
I mean, I do like to travel. I take normally I'll go 2 weeks in the summer with them, with my friends that I was telling you about.
Yeah.
I like to do things outdoors. My oldest nephew, he's in track, so he's getting into fitness and stuff like that. So I do. I mean, Really, it's very boring, but I mean, I like to go to the gym. I think that's time away from, normally that's like my quiet time. I go in the morning when everybody's asleep and it's peaceful and I push my body to do things that I didn't know I could do. But
Yeah.
gym and then spend time with my boys. I like to watch movies.
Yeah.
It's kind of boring actually now that I'm talking about it. I don't really do much. I like to do things with my friends and family, dinner.
Yeah.
Well, it's good discipline.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have discipline, then, I mean,
It's hard. It's hard.
It gets
Yeah.
hard, yeah.
It is. Yeah.
Well, not to mention that the older that I get, the more that I really feel like the simple things in life are the things that really matter.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And so you don't have to do all these extravagant things or whatever. And plus, sometimes that stuff leads to bigger problems anyway.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's like, let's just keep things simple and safe and healthy. And yeah, no, that's pretty awesome. What's been your favorite vacation spot so far?
Ooh, I think maybe last year last year in the summer we went to Grand Cayman.
Okay.
That was so much fun.
Wow.
And Jamaica was a lot of fun too.
How many presentations did you do there?
It was
That's
so
not
many.
common, right? You don't you don't normally do that. Okay.
No, sometimes it just comes up.
Just natural, yeah.
It's always
right.
on my mind.
People start picking your brain,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
But the thing is, you don't mind.
No, I don't mind.
Right? You're not like, hey, I'm on vacation. Don't ask me that.
No. Ask me
Instead,
all your
a flip
questions.
chart comes down
Yes.
out of nowhere. Like, where did that come from?
Enjoy it. I
Yeah,
really
that's
do.
awesome. So the Grand Cayman Islands was so far your favorite.
Yes.
It's just beautiful, huh?
It is beautiful. Yeah, I love the beach. That's probably one of the things I like to do.
Okay. You're a
Throughout
beach
the
person?
summer, yeah, I love driving down to the beach with the boys.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so if you're going to go to a beach locally, which is your spot?
Oh man, after going over there, I'm like, where do I go?
You don't want to go to Rancho Corpus?
No,
There's too many seashells. Yeah. After you get a taste for those beautiful sand. Is it like the white sand? Is that kind of how it is there?
It's what you could see, like the water.
The water's crystal clear.
Yeah, going far in, we were swimming with the stingrays, and you could see
You can see everything.
Yeah. so
See,
much.
once you get a taste of that,
It's like, man, yeah.
and then somebody's like, "You want to go to the Guadalupe?" No, not really. I don't want to go in that raunchy water anymore,
No.
man. After I got a little taste. Well, that's awesome, Iris. Thank you very much again for being here. If somebody's listening and they want to reach out to you, what's the best way to contact you?
My phone is always on me, so do I share my phone number?
Sure. Yes.
Phone number is 210-400-2917, or you can add me on social media, Iris Ramos. I'm on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, pretty much everywhere. Yeah.
cool.
And we'll add your information on the show notes.
Okay.
When we put this together and we put it out there, and then we'll give you all the goodies so you can share it
Awesome.
as well with your network.
Awesome.
As well.
Happy to do that.
But thank you again, Iris. We really appreciate your time. Thank you. It's great to catch up with you again. And you got any final words?
I mean, thank you for coming
Yes.
to the podcast, and I mean, I'm very excited to see you in the future because I can see that you have the energy.
Oh,
you're
thank you.
young and
There you go.
disciplined. So,
Yep. Building her real estate empire.
yep.
Thank you.
Iris, thank you.
Yes, thank
Okay.
you for having me.
That does it, guys, for another episode of the Agents Lounge podcast. We'll catch you here next time.
You've been listening to the Agents Lounge podcast, brought to you by Airtegrity Comfort Solutions. To learn more about the resources mentioned on today's show or to listen to past episodes, please visit agentsloungepodcast.com.